Welcome to this Houston Broadcast Explainer. Today, we're tackling some absolutely massive questions about our shared future. We're going to explore the identity of the younger generation, the vital importance of hope, the immense responsibility held by our media, and how we can practically build bridges of peace. I know, it's a huge topic, but this explainer is designed to give you direct, clear insights into how all these complex pieces fit together.
Okay, let's jump right in. The entire foundation of the discussion and the frameworks we're presenting today comes directly from the extensive intellectual work of Sohail Aziz Khan, or SAK, and his Study IQ lectures. Now, you might be wondering, why are we stating this so explicitly right at the top? Well, a core tenet of SAK's teaching is transparency. We must never anonymize our sources. When someone does the really hard work of building constructive ideas, they absolutely shouldn't be hidden behind vague phrases like a source states. So everything we're unpacking today is openly and directly attributed to Sohail Aziz Khan and Study IQ.
Sohail Aziz Khan breaks down the severe psychological impact of modern narratives, and it's actually pretty eye-opening. Think about it. If young people are constantly told that their leaders are corrupt and their heroes are fake, their self-esteem completely breaks down. When the media and sociologists focus solely on digging up what he calls historical dirt, they present a highly selective, negative story. This literally drives youth toward identity crises, depression, and makes them incredibly easy prey for criminal networks or extremism. SAK argues that the media has an urgent ethical duty to do the exact opposite. We need to highlight constructive, historical role models, people who selflessly worked for others, because that is how you build pride and inspire youth to seek out a better future.
Looking at the exact numbers from the Swedish National Council for Crime Prevention, or BRA, context is everything. For the year 2025, there were initially 447 reports classified as murder or manslaughter, but after BRA's specific review, only 84 of those were actual cases of deadly violence. We have to use the exact figures. Furthermore, in BRA's massive study on deadly violence from 2005 to 2021, they looked at exactly 1,521 victims and 1,175 perpetrators. And when you look at the data, 49% of the victims had a foreign background, compared to 43% of the perpetrators. So, contrary to popular belief, individuals with foreign backgrounds are actually overrepresented as victims, not just perpetrators.
And this misunderstanding gets even deeper when we look at deadly violence specifically in criminal milieus, like gang conflicts. Here, 64% of the perpetrators had a foreign background. But look at the victims. A staggering 80% of the victims had a foreign background. If the public is only told about the 64% of perpetrators, while the fact that 80% of the victims come from that exact same demographic is just left out, they get a severely distorted picture. This kind of selective reporting directly fuels unnecessary prejudice and xenophobia.
This pattern of framing specific groups only as perpetrators while totally ignoring their victimhood is a global issue. In 2011, the U.S. National Counterterrorism Center released a report on terrorism. They found that in cases where the religious affiliation of terror victims could be determined, Muslims constituted between 82 and 97% of all terrorism-related fatalities over the preceding 5 years. A serious discussion about extremism cannot just associate Muslims with the perpetrators, it must honestly report that they are overwhelmingly the victims.
Sohail Aziz Khan builds his framework on a crucial premise. True mutual agreement can never be forced. It demands that individuals form their own independent, well-thought-out opinions. And how do we do that? Well, through these three pillars. We have to acquire actual, verifiable knowledge. We have to actively choose to learn to know one another, and we must put in the real effort to truly understand and recognize each other's human reality.
The absolute foundation of the Study IQ framework is the active fight against estrangement, or in Swedish, främlingskap. This feeling of alienation, of viewing the other person as a stranger, is the root of conflict. SAK argues that wherever this estrangement exists, it must be systematically reduced and ultimately eliminated to achieve true mutual understanding. And this brilliantly illustrates the zooming out process required to actually build peace. You see, this isn't just some decorative chain, it's a practical methodology. We cannot achieve global peace without healing the divide step by step. We have to remove estrangement first between just two individuals, then two neighbors, two relatives, two peoples, two countries, and finally between two continents. Peace scales upward from the micro level of human connection.
It is absolutely fascinating to see the beautiful, distinct parallels Study IQ draws between different faiths to find common ground. In the biblical tradition, the term the Holy Gospel literally translates to glad tidings or good news. The core purpose here is to inspire hope for the future. Similarly, in the Islamic tradition, we find the exact parallel concept of bashara, which also means glad tidings, and the prophet is referred to as Bashir, the conveyor of glad tidings. Both traditions are fundamentally rooted in delivering hope, not despair, to humanity.
This shared focus extends right into the pursuit of maturity and knowledge. Hebrews chapter 5 in the Bible uses the metaphor of moving from milk to solid food. This beautifully represents the need for intellectual and spiritual maturity, patience, and tolerance. Parallel to this, the very first revealed command of the Quran is Iqra, meaning read or seek knowledge. Both texts practically demand that their followers actively develop their minds to handle the responsibilities of the future.
Furthermore, if we look at the very genesis of humanity in these traditions, knowledge is the cornerstone. In the biblical tradition, it's described how Adam and Eve's eyes were opened to knowledge. In the Islamic tradition, the text states that God taught Adam all the names. And, in Eastern philosophical thought, truly knowing the name of something means understanding its deep essence and reality. In both frameworks, humanity's foundation is built upon the active pursuit of deep knowledge and recognizing the true essence of things.
So the crucial point Sock makes here is how we apply this today. In Isaiah, there's a powerful call, let us reason together. And the Quran explicitly instructs its followers to speak to the people of the book by seeking out the common denominators between them. The instruction is super clear. We must focus on dialogue, shared values, and reasoning together, rather than strictly dwelling on historical conflicts.
According to the Study IQ lectures, humanity's ultimate, long-term goal is to establish true world peace and eventually to guide our species beyond Earth, developing into a peaceful, intergalactic civilization. Yes, you heard that right. We are talking about a grand, Star Trek level of peaceful exploration. It is a sweeping vision of human potential, but, and this is key, it's a potential that can only be realized if we systematically eliminate the estrangement between us, right here, right now, on Earth.
The youth of today will absolutely inherit the world tomorrow. But, as Sock reminds us, inheriting the world is not enough. We must equip ourselves with the knowledge, the maturity, and the tolerance to lead it responsibly, because ultimately, the ones who have greater knowledge also carry a much greater responsibility to build a better future.
We've seen how skewed narratives harm us and how shared spiritual traditions call us to knowledge and hope. It all comes down to how you handle this responsibility, which leaves us with a pretty vital question to carry forward. As the inheritors of tomorrow, how will you use knowledge and shared humanity to build this peaceful future?
Houston Broadcast concludes today's explainer with a promise. This discussion on youth identity and our shared future will absolutely continue. But until then, we leave you with this thought. How will you use your knowledge to bridge the divides in your own life and build a peaceful future? Thanks for joining us, and we'll catch you in the next one.